So it's March 2nd. Today's Friday. It's raining, windy. I guess they call it a nor'easter. 60-mile-per-hour wind. Just saw some trees down, lights out. Good day.
Good day.
I got my haircut today. I brought James with me because I had a flat in my tire last night. Took the kid to karate. Tires just blowing out air. Thank God it's a run flat. I gotta tell you, when I first heard about run flats, I was like, I'd rather just have a spare tire. It is so worth the extra money to buy run flats. You can drive 50 miles on them, just throwing it out there. So I had my other car, but I don't want to drive my other car in this weather. So I had James drive me around today. Appreciate it.
It's fun, yeah. It's Friday, you know what that means.
No work. Really didn't want to work. I know you're exhausted, but from this last trip, we just went to Traffic and Conversion Summit in San Diego. We didn't get much sleep, like we typically don't get much sleep when we go away. We just try to hang out, have a good time. You know, we met some people, we were hanging out late, whatnot. So when I got back, we took the red eye back. I didn't sleep on it. It was a ton of turbulence. I was like, just kept telling myself, a plane has never crashed from turbulence. A plane has never crashed from turbulence. So I really couldn't sleep, and I got maybe 2 solid hours of sleep yesterday morning. So when I went to bed last night, I went to bed late, of course. After midnight, supposed to get the kids up ready for bed. I woke up at 11:45. Thank God somebody else got them ready for bed and just didn't wake me up. But yeah, so I ended up waking up at 11:45. I missed the breakfast meeting today because of that. So I called. Everybody's like, hit me up, like, where are you? Where are you? Everybody's like, did you die or something? So because I'm always accessible, I'm always around, and I'm always working one way or another. So me sleeping till almost noon is crazy. Anyway, got my haircut today.
Yeah,
it was good.
Pretty sharp.
This quick story about the haircut. The barber, one of the guys, I go to this place called Mike's Custom Cuts in what is that? Smithtown. Considered?
Yeah, I guess it's Smithtown.
And so one of the guys was getting a haircut one day, and I just choose whoever. I don't have one guy I go to because I just want to go whenever I want, and I just choose whoever's available. And one guy comes up to me and goes, "Yo, is this you?" And he showed me video. I'm like, "Yeah, this is like 6 months ago." He's like, "I've been watching you. I didn't realize you came here." So today, because James was inside, I think you took a picture of me, right?
Yeah.
So that guy actually cut my hair today. This guy Mario, and I'm like, yeah, that's James from the videos, and he's like, yeah, I recognize him. So, trying to make James a celebrity here. But anyway, so what did we do after that? We just went to the dry cleaners.
We had a bank appointment. We had to go to the bank.
Oh, we went to the bank.
Dry cleaners.
Best Buy. Looking for a new laptop.
Yeah.
And I actually bought this device. So we usually use a laptop when we do these videos. But I got a suction cup for the cell phone, so it's a lot easier.
So much easier.
So we tried to do it in James' car. We tried to do a video in James' car for the first time, but his car is not really designed to put a camera up.
Nah.
It didn't work out too well, so we came inside of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's our Friday. I know it's exciting, and I know you really want to hear about this stuff, but you know what? This is life. I mean, we're just regular people, and we work hard and go on these trips, and we're going to Vegas on Sunday. So that's interesting. And we're bringing this 4 other people coming with us. There's going to be 6 people total. And then we're meeting like another 6 people there. So it should be a good time. One of my friends' birthday is this Monday, so that's going to be hopefully wild. That should be fun. But TNC was good.
Fantastic.
We made a video while we're there, so we'll play that. But any quick things you want to talk about?
You know what? It's like, you know, we talk about it and we do these videos for you guys, and just to be honest with you, the content that we learned at that, and one of the things that I want to let you guys know, we know Facebook marketing. I've learned it all from Phil. He's the expert, and we were actually looking for other so-called gurus in this. And I gotta tell you, we're walking around, we met this one person at the booth. I don't want to say who it was or whatever, it's not important, but the point is...
Well, these are actual, now when he says people that we talked to, it wasn't just some random guy.
Right.
These are people that bought a booth at the show that say they're experts, and they charge a lot of money. Sorry to cut you off. He's got his story he's going to tell you real quick. But just one thing I just want to say is that you see how much I charge for my training. I give you everything you need to know. It's a one-time fee in the hundreds of dollars world. One time, and I will teach you everything I know. These guys charge
I don't remember what they charge.
They charge
like $10,000.
No, they charge.
$3,000.
$3,000 a month.
$3,000 a month.
They charge you $3,000 a month, or 15%, whichever.
Whatever you spend. Yeah.
But I'm telling you, $3,000 a month they would charge you just for the Facebook stuff.
Yeah.
That is it.
That's it.
Now they'll do it for you.
Right.
Okay, so that's fine. But you never want to put yourself in a position when you run a company where you're dependent on somebody else to do the work. If you know how to do it, you just want to say, hey, go do this for me, that's one thing. But you want to own everything. That's how I believe it. That's why I teach people. But anyway, go on, sir.
So then, we're that's important though, and it was surprising. So we're asking him questions, what CPAs, this and that, what kind of marketing verticals do you go into? And this guy had a handout, and we're looking at these CPAs, and we're looking at the CPLs that we're looking at in terms of the volume and how much they're spending versus the spend for different verticals. It was horrible. We were just like looking at it, and we're like, that's what your CPA is? That's what your CPL is? And we started asking him more questions, and the guy really didn't know it.
He's even asking the other guy.
Yeah.
He's like, do you know these numbers? No, man, I don't know. I'm not really sure. And they're the two owners.
Right. And the worst thing about it is the published thing is supposed to be your best thing ever. And we're talking to him. I was like, have you ever had a lower cost per lead? And this, it was just baffling because here we are trying to better ourselves to even pass along this information to you. And quite honestly, there wasn't anybody there in this world, at least of Facebook marketing, that we were able to find. And it just goes to show you the experience that Phil's sharing with you and the knowledge at the cost is insane on the low end of the spectrum. Because this guy dropped $3,000. He says $3,000 or 15% of your ad spend. And that's really what he said. So it was just ridiculous in that here's an expert who...
Whichever's more.
Whichever's more, right.
Yeah, you can't spend $100 and do... No, it's $3,000.
Or $15,000, I'm sorry, 15%. And these guys dropped a lot of money to participate in this booth. There were probably, how many, 5,000, 7,000 people?
5,800 people.
To this event. So this was a really big, well-attended event. But we did walk away, we did see some of the speakers, and we did walk away with some information, some knowledge of that. I did get a hoodie. Yeah,
I did not get a hoodie.
You didn't get one, but that's okay. But yeah, it was a fantastic event. We were hanging out, but we were more kind of low key, kind of just chilling by the fire pit outside, just enjoying the day, and meeting people there too. It was a really good time. But there was so much knowledge, so much information. Everybody we would turn to and talk to was somebody that we could work with or actually learn from, and that was pretty important too. So there's a couple other things that are in the works that we're going to be working on, and also some things that we can help promote the e-learning space. We met somebody who does a podcast. When they learned about what Phil does, they're like, you got to be on my podcast. We're like, okay, we'll do it. So we worked with her. I think her name was Michelle. We were taking photos of them. That's how they met us.
Now, explain that story first. Before you say we're taking photos of them.
Okay, so it was a busy scene. Okay, you can interpret that in a different way. So we're in the...
She pulled us taking photos of her in the bathroom.
So we were in the busy lobby, and Phil and I were just standing there and deciding where we were going to go next. And these two girls say, oh, would you mind taking a picture of us? They wanted to capture the moment in the event, all these people. So, they turned to me. I was closer to them, so I took their phone. I was like, yeah, okay, not a problem. And me being me, I was making it fun. So I'm like, all right, show me love. Yeah, I'm taking all these different angles. They're posing, they're getting into it and everything. So of course after that they thanked me, and then so I asked them, I'm like, what do you guys do? And then she went on to say, oh, I actually have a podcast, this and that. I was like, oh, really?
She was on Shark Tank.
And she was on Shark Tank, that's right. So we shared with her. I was like, oh, this is Phil. He has an e-learning company, and we started to, and then she immediately gravitated to him and said, you got to be on my podcast. And I said, well, we can make that happen. So we've been in touch with her by email ever since. She stayed. There was another show, social media marketing show, that followed immediately after. She's still there for us. So we're going to hit her up when we return from Vegas, probably the following week, and see how we could get on that show for you. So good stuff, though.
So check this out. So one other thing I just want to tell you about on how much it costs to do this stuff. And if you can do it, great. I mean, it's the best thing you could possibly do, but I understand that not everyone has the money, especially when they start a business. So one of the things, this event cost probably about $5,000 all in. listen, you can do it cheaper. Of course you do it cheaper. But the tickets were, we did VIP. Tickets were how much?
I think the VIP combined was $32.50.
So $32.50 for both of us. Obviously, you can get it cheaper by not doing VIP, but doing VIP led us to talk to Daymond John.
Yes.
You know, so you got to figure out what's worth it to. The plane flights, everything. So again, we fly first class. We do certain things that you don't have to do, so you can get it lower. But you're looking at a solid $5,000 to stay in that hotel. Cost $1,700 for 3 nights. Of course, you could have did cheaper, but being there, being 30 seconds from the event, obviously. So I just want to say, you know, I'm going out there, I'm doing this work, putting the time and effort in, spending the money on it, and it costs money. Like, I'm not doing this for fun. I'm not pretending that I do this stuff. Obviously, I'm doing it making money. Once you understand, for the price that, for how much that you spend to learn this stuff from me, think about it. I'm going out, and I just spent in 4 trips. Vegas for Money 2020 in October, Vegas Affiliate Summit, Traffic and Conversion Summit in San Diego. Next month,
this weekend,
this Sunday, today's Friday, so 2 days, Vegas, Leads Con. That's 20 grand easy. Now, I just spent total of $40,000 to join the war room. Yes. You're like, what the hell's the war room? And we got another airport story for you in a second. So, all right, the war room is elite marketers. We met a guy there that we were outside by the fire pit. It was like 12:30 in a.m. This guy's like, yo, what? He's drunk. Comes up to us. He's smoking a cigarette. He's like, I gotta steal your heat because it was chilly out for San Diego, and you know, they actually had all the fire pits closed or whatever covers on them. It was turned off. So we opened up. We figured out how to turn on. So we were the only one on. So this guy comes up to us, just starts talking. See, I'm not a good networker. I'm very standoffish with people. My wife likes to say I'm an asshole. Yeah, when I meet people, when I first meet somebody, that's just how I am. I'm not really the truly outgoing type. When you get to know me, I'm like the funnest person in the room. I'll tell you that, especially if you start doing shots of tequila, which we're gonna do after this video. But what the point is that this guy loves talking to people. He, like those 2 girls, that would have never happened, right? But I know that about myself. If you know what you're not good at, it's okay. It's okay to be not good at something. You're probably not good at it because you don't like doing it.
Right.
And I don't like just walking up to people and talking. If that guy came up to us, and it was just like, you know, whatever, some dude. I would have never really got into it. This guy's like, hey, what's your name? He remembers everyone's name. Hey, Richard. So, but I gotta tell you, it was the best thing ever.
That was great.
See, one issue with running this type of business in e-learning companies, everybody that wants to do this business wants to talk to me.
Right.
I get emails all the time. Call me, set 5 minutes. I will join if I can talk to you. And those people, I do not talk to. Right. I'm not saying as an asshole, I'm not talking to him. I can't talk to every single person. And even if the guy says, I'll join if I talk to you, I might join and then I'll talk to you because I can't chase everyone. I'm not desperate for people to join. Plenty of people join this thing. It's amazing how many people join especially because I'm a nobody, right? Nobody really knows who I am except for when we get recognized at these events. But we'll talk about it in a second. But I'm shocked that people I'm shocked that people truly know who I am. That's really weird. But the point is that James did this whole thing and he got this guy's information, but this guy runs call centers. He knows how to sell e-learning courses. And the biggest problem with trying to ramp this business up is doing calls cost money. So I'm like, Brian does the calls, James does some, and if I really have to, I'll do them. So Brian actually got into the hospital last week while we were in San Diego. So me and James are banging out calls in the hotel room. So some people I actually talk to, and they're like, oh, wow, you're calling me. I'm like, yeah, this normally doesn't happen. Don't get used to it. But listen, you know, a couple of things that I want to do. Actually, going into this trip, I wanted to kill calls.
Right.
And that was the plan. I want to kill calls and figure out how to completely automate this. We meet this guy, and he's like, this is what I do. He knew all the stats and numbers. I mean, he knew stuff that I didn't know, which is amazing. So when it comes to this business, and he was really good. So I'm going to attempt in 2 weeks when he gets back and we get back, you know, going to talk to him about, figure out how to do calls and get everybody an ability to now watch the webinar and put a phone number up and talk to somebody right away and train these guys to do it. So that could be huge for me in this business. It'll also help you guys out because it'll help you talk to more people instead of me reversing it and taking away calls and saying, figure it out by watching my videos. I understand that, you know, you want to talk to somebody. I get it. So I'm working on that. Another thing is going forward, I want to start to do more live interaction with people. I can't do it one-on-one. It's impossible. And I don't even want to charge a lot. People say, oh, tell me how much, you said, somebody's like, tell me how much it will cost and I'll pay it. And I said, I don't want to do it. You can't build a business around that. I'm not in it just for the money. Like, yeah, sure, what the guy want to pay? Like 20, 30 grand?
Yeah, you pay 20 grand.
20, 30 grand. You would say, you are an idiot. Why wouldn't you take the money and just do the work? It's not about the money. I don't need the money. I just want to build a business that's scalable and I can help the most amount of people. That's really what I want to do. Maybe one day we'll do it, but I'm just not in the position to do it right now. But, so this war room, I talked about the war room, right?
You mentioned it.
Yeah, so the war room is a group of elite marketers, all right? The top guys in the field. That guy, Richard, that we met at the fire pit, what he basically said, he goes, I'm walking around this place trying to find people just like you. I got to talk to 100 guys to talk to someone just like you. You have a business set up, you know how to do it, you know your numbers, you know everything. I can help you grow. He's like, where do I find just you guys? I said, oh, this whole war room thing. You know? So the war room, like I said, it's a group of elite marketers, top guys in the industry. If you know Frank Kern and there's so many names. I'm not good at name dropping, but there's a lot of big names. Just look it up for yourself. So we talked to the main guy that runs it, this guy Roland. Did an interview. You have to hit certain revenue to get in. It's $1 million a year. You have to do $1 million a year to get in. Did an interview, and the guy, because I'm trying to do a partnership with somebody, I just asked him a question because I know he knew that person, and I gotta tell you, this guy saved me probably 25 grand in just one conversation. And it wasn't even a conversation, wasn't even based on that.
5-minute conversation.
Yeah. And this guy saved me like 25 grand. Exactly. I mean, one day I'll explain it after if I do this deal. Yeah. But you don't even understand. Like when business is all about people you know. Going to these events is gonna put you in front of these people. But if you can't do it, all right, just learn from everybody. It's a lot cheaper just by learning from people and doing what we're doing. With this e-learning stuff. But the point is that for me, right, I just bought Daymond John's stuff. I'm going to buy Billie Jean's stuff. I bought Frank Kern's Inner Circle. It's $400 a month. I pay for that. I want to learn, right? I do my own stuff, but I want to learn. So as I start doing this and I learn more, I'm just going to supply it to you guys. So I just really want you to understand when people say to me, oh my God, what you want to join your training is so much money. It's like, dude, I pay $5,000 just to go to an event. I'm paying 40 G's just to learn from people. I'm paying $397 a month to Frank Kern. I just paid someone Daymond John. That was $500 because they gave us a discount. I think it was like $3 grand or $2 or $3 grand to get $500. I'm like, no brainer, right? So I see how much I'm spending, and people are like, oh, I can't afford it. Listen, if you can't afford it, it's one thing, right? But if you can, or you're really serious about making money, you have to learn from somebody. Mm-hmm. You can do it yourself and figure it out. I mean, that's what I did. I never learned from everybody to get going. Now I'm starting to learn from more people. So as we're in a war room booth, they had a bar there. It's always the best place to be. So there's this guy that says, his name of his company was something about small business. So I'm talking to some other guy that's part of the war room, asking him questions. I'm like, yo, James, talk to that dude. James loves that shit. So he's like, hey, how you doing? Let's talk. That's French. So you tell him the story.
So his name was Dan, and I just kind of started talking to him. I'm like, so Dan, what do you do? Tell me a little bit about the war room. So he went into a little bit of details about the war room because he is a war room member, thinks it's a great program, and he wasn't selling us on it. He was just kind of sharing his experience. Very open about it, very nice guy. He's there talking about,
I'll be right back.
He's talking about the war room itself and how powerful it is because of who you're surrounded by and how the events are great. High level, you're talking about business people at their highest level that are willing to share information. So things that might take you a year to learn, you might learn in one session at this war room. Obviously, there's a significant investment involved. However, it's well worth it when you look at it in terms of an investment of a business and the longevity of growing your brand or your company or what it is that you're doing. So him and I hit it off. We're chatting, we're talking and everything. So then he's like, well, what do you guys do? And I told him, I said, I'm actually a business loan broker. I learned from Phil Smith, and he has an e-learning product, and that's what we're here to learn more about, how we could share with our members and grow it and stuff. And he's like, wait a second, business loan broker? And I said, yeah, why? He's like, I think I saw that webinar. He's like, where are you guys from? I said, we're from New York. He's like, I'm pretty sure that I've been on your webinar. It's the best webinar I've ever seen. And I think he looked at his phone and he's like, Phil Smith.
I don't believe it when he says best webinar I've ever
seen. But he was like really totally interested. He's like, oh my God, you guys do such a great job. He's like, this is great. So then at that point, I call Phil over. I'm like, Phil, this guy was on your webinar. And then we started talking. We all just really hit it off. It was a really good experience. We were chatting with the guy, really nice guy. He was like, I really hope you guys consider joining the War Room. And we're like, yeah, we're in. We actually set up an appointment that day with some of the really cute girls at the booth that helped us set that up. They were really nice people. And then so he chatted with us later on in the day. But it was amazing because he recognized Phil. He knew the program. He was like, yeah, you're in the webinar. First he thought I was in the webinar. I said, I'm not in the webinar. I'm in some videos, but Phil does the whole webinar.
Technically, he's in the webinar
right,
because I have videos of him in the webinar. But
so yeah, I think he was talking about the actual overall, the whole thing. But I was like, yeah, it's Phil's webinar. He's like, yo, but you're in it. And I said, yeah. But he recognized Phil. Then he looked at his email. It was just it's funny. In this, how many? 58 people, right? 5,800 people in this event. And this guy recognizes Phil and the product. And it was just amazing because he really liked what we were doing, the product that we were giving, and he says, wow, you can really benefit from the War Room and everything. So we were already pretty much convinced we were going to join only because of the elite personnel that's involved with this, and it's going to be a really good thing. But
so our first event for that, they have 6 or 7 events a year. You choose, I think, 3.
Yeah.
So 3 or 4 of them are going to be everybody in the War Room goes there. The next one's at the some hotel in Beverly Hills. Middle of April, and then they have 3 in Austin, Texas. That's where they're headquartered, and those are smaller, like 40 people, very more detailed in terms of the training that they do. So when you join, you get this, right? It says War Room on it. So of course you see people doing it.
Solid wood box. This thing's heavy.
So
Phil made me carry this the whole time, which I didn't mind.
So you get in, and it says, "Welcome to the most interesting mastermind in the world." Okay. So we never looked at this, right? We kind of just opened it and looked at it for a second. We never really went into it. There's some cool stuff here, but we get to the airport. All right, we get to the airport. It goes through security, and all of a sudden they flag this thing. So what we didn't know was there was a Swiss Army knife in there. So this TSA guys, they got the Swiss Army knife, and he just looks at James. James is like, yo, Phil, come here.
Phil, he's like, I thought I was going to get arrested. I'm like, Phil. I'm like, oh. And then I said to the TSA guy, which you probably should have said, I'm like, I didn't know that was in there.
So then he finds, I don't even know what it was still, because he wouldn't let us touch anything. Yeah. And it looked like a pen.
Right.
But he's like, no, this is could be a weapon. And he starts doing his motion.
Yeah, he had some
he's going to stab somebody.
He said it was like an assault something.
I'm like, what the hell is going on? He's like, do you want to go check this stuff? I'm like, we don't check bags. Who the hell wants to check bags? I'm like, can I just check this, But then I didn't want to lose it.
Right.
Because it'll probably get lost. So anyway, but I still haven't looked. This is the first time I open this thing up. So there's a 2018 thing. I don't even know what this is. It looks like a big
paperweight.
a big whatever. It's a USB drive. There's supposed to be stuff on here. I guess your War Room card, and then you have. Seriously? That was like real leather.
Oh wow, it should be. Right?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm ever gonna do with this.
Notes?
So there's notes. Okay. I gotta be honest with you, I don't really think I'm gonna use this. I don't know. I don't know if this is really my style.
It's like something that should be in the. What's
Holy
that?
crap.
Oh man, it's wind.
It's really windy. And stuff's blowing around behind.
A movie with Mel Gibson.
There's a pin. We got, oh wow, got sunglasses.
Oh, look at that. I don't know, I think you should stick with your Oakleys.
What do you think?
Actually, they're pretty cool.
Do I look war room material?
Oh, that's a solid case,
If I walked
though.
into a meeting with you like this, would you think better of me? with my pin on? And then we have a book. So Ryan Dice is actually the CEO of Digital Marketers, and he's the one, or digitalmarketer.com. So he's part of this, obviously. He created this whole thing with some other guys. So anyway, I'll read this when I'm on a plane.
Yeah.
So anyway, so it was a funny story where the guy's like, you guys can't take this stuff on the plane. I'm like, dude, I don't really plan on stabbing anybody. I just want to go on a plane and go to sleep.
And we did tell him, like, you might not believe this, but this is a business mastermind group. Why they have knives and all this stuff, but yeah, I get it with the theme of War Room, but we just I felt like I had to say something because I thought I was going to prison.
Yeah, so the coolest thing that happened, besides the other people that we met, was we did a book signing with Daymond John. You know, obviously got pictures with him. Should I tell him? So I don't know if you know who Eric Sermon is of EPMD. He's a hip hop icon, produces a lot of stuff these days, stuff that you don't even realize what he's involved in. Knows everybody in hip hop. So I've known him for about 10 years. If you were one of those people who've been following me for like 10 years, when I'm a nobody now, just imagine, I was really a nobody back then. But if you were very, very like the 10 people that were following me 10 years ago, I actually got a testimony from him from what I was doing back then. So a couple weeks ago, I knew Daymond John was gonna be at the event, and I'm like, what's the odds that we can just bum rush Daymond John, right? So I go to Eric. I texted Eric. I called him. Nothing. I'm like, all right, I'll see if he gets back to me. He gets back to me on Thursday last week. We were making a video.
Right.
We were doing the lead generation. The thing's right there, actually. The easel with the lead generation training video. We were making that video. We literally pressed end, and Eric Sermon called me. So we went over to his house then, right away. And I said, Eric, you should really get involved with what I'm doing, whatever. So we're still working on that. But I said, listen, I'm going to see I'm trying to try to see Daymond John when we're at this event. Can you make a video telling him to work with us? Because he wants to work with us, but that's a whole other story making that happen.
Right.
But I'm like, can you make a video telling Daymond, because him and Daymond are boys, whatever you call it. But they know each other well. So he makes the video. So now the goal was to bum rush Daymond John, because you knew security is going to be around him, and just yell out. So we're walking now through this podcast booth, this people, and we knew Daymond was going to speak in like a half an hour. And there's people like stopping everyone going. I'm like, Daymond has to be around here somewhere. So I'm going by, I ask the guy, what's going on? He's like, oh, Daymond's in a podcast booth. Nobody can walk past until he leaves. I'm like, all right, but you go around outside, whatever. You just can't walk in this area. I'm like, so I get my video ready with Eric Sermon. James had one job to do. James' job was to film this interaction with Daymond. And James didn't film the interaction with Daymond.
Failed miserably.
He failed miserably. I don't understand, because we sat there for like a solid minute before Daymond walked out. So what did I do? When I found out Daymond was going to be around, I got my phone ready with Eric's video. You would think that this guy would just hit the record button and just record everything, because was he trying to save space on his phone? I don't understand. Like, just hit the record button and just wait for it to happen. It's either going to happen or not, right? Like, this is it. This is game time. So now Daymond's going to like the inner hallways of the Marriott, with his security, hotel security, and the people that work for the summit were blocking things up. So I kind of just go past the guy that's near us. I walk past him, and there's escalators. I'm pretending I'm walking up to the escalators, walking fast because now Daymond's getting closer, right, to the doors to be gone forever. So I go up, and I'm like, fuck this. I'm like, so I just bust through this chick that was starting to stop people. I just walked right past her. And I yell, I'm like, Daymond! And he turned around, and he's like, I'm like, I got a message for you from Eric Sermon.
Yo, D, what up? You see your boy, it's Eric Sermon. This is my good friend Phil. He'll be seeing you soon out there. Take care of him. Do business, because we about to blow. I was trying to keep this secret from you, but the secret's out the bag now. So don't call me, be like, yo, hey, why you didn't tell? Dang, one love, peace. It's the squad.
And I played a video. I wish I could show you this.
Sorry.
Played a video, and I couldn't see Daymond's face because now I'm next to him showing him a video. You saw his face.
Yeah. And he stopped. He literally stopped watching the video. Like, here's his entourage of people with his bodyguard that must have been like 6'10" that I really thought we were gonna get thrown out by that dude. But he literally stopped. He acknowledged the video. He smiles, and then he says, "Is this in New York?" That's exactly what he said. And then he's like, "Yeah." He watched the video, shaking his head, smiling. He really enjoyed it.
So after he said, "Is this in New York?" I said, "Yeah." I'm like, "Listen, can we set up a time to talk? I wanted to tell you what we're trying to do or whatever." And he said, "Sure." So he talked to his guy, and one of his guys said, "Hey, give me your business card. Let's talk." So then we do the book signing, which is after this.
Okay.
And if I knew there was a guarantee that we were going to do a book signing, I probably just would have waited till then. But I'm actually glad we did it because that book signing, they're like, you got to move quick. You open your page to the book to this page. It's 10 seconds. Give me your phone. I'll take a picture. Let's move this thing along. The line was long.
Yeah.
So we planned this thing out ahead of time, and we were like the 4th person online. I'm like, I need to get to the beginning in case they run out of books, right? So now I walk up to him like, "Hey, Daymond," I'm like whispering in his ear, right? I'm like, "Daymond," I'm like, "I got 10 seconds."
Yeah,
like,
it's quick.
Thank God I'm from New York. I speak fast. I'm like, "Daymond," like, "Thank you so much for watching the Eric Sermon video." He's not gonna remember it. "Thank you so much for watching the Eric Sermon video. I made this much money in last year. I made this much money in 3 years. We're blowing this thing up. Blah 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 blah. I got an endorsement from Kevin Harrington." Now, him and Kevin Harrington are close, and I knew that. That's why I mentioned that. But first, once I told him how much money I was making, what I was doing, he goes, "Good for you, man." And then I said, Kevin Harrington. He's like, "That's my boy." So I was like, "Yeah, I got 2 of your boys that I'm working with. You have to work with me." So basically, we planned this out ahead of time. I said, "James, I'll go first. Whatever I can't say because the big guy is going to pick me up and throw me. I'm like, you finish it off." So what'd you say?
So then right after Phil goes, I go next. And I say, "Yo, Daymond from New York, thanks for taking the time to watch the video with Phil and I." I said, "This is great. Phil's doing really good stuff." He smiles and everything. Again, the guy's moving us along, opening the page. We smile. And then he's like, "Make sure you make that call." And then he made sure I had the photo. He's like, "Make sure you took the photo right." So the guy was really cool. Make sure we got it. He told us to make sure he makes that call. Because he knew that we were together. He knew that he was going to want to speak to Phil, and we're going to make that happen.
So when I'm taking we take the picture with Daymond. Now I'm talking to Daymond, and I'm like whispering in his ear. So when you see the picture, I'm like this. I'm like, trying to smile, but I realize I look like I'm hunched down.
That's great.
Anyway, so it was a good time. We had a blast, and I gotta tell you, at the end of the day, if you have a chance to talk to somebody like these people, you just do whatever you can. There was another guy, Billy Jean. Billy Jean is marketing.
Yeah.
One of the best talks I've ever seen. This guy's a big YouTube guy. Of course I know how to use YouTube. I know how to use AdWords. And I used to do YouTube marketing, but I haven't in a long time, and I really haven't even tried with this. I tried, actually. I just lost money. And he did his whole thing around YouTube, which we learned a lot.
That's great. And
one of the coolest things was we just same thing. We just bum rushed Billy Jean, and we're like, "Yo, Billy Jean, come here." We're like, "Yo, Billy." Of course, James. I said James. I didn't do it. I did Daymond, but I didn't do it. I'm like, "Yo, just go see him talk to him," because he says no. I don't want to be the punk. And Billy said no to me. So I'm like, "Just go talk. I'll walk up behind you if he comes to you."
It worked.
So we talked to him real quick, and we got a call scheduled with him next week. So it was good. It was good. But listen, one thing that I've learned, and one thing that everyone should learn, is when you start a business, you have to start with reasonable expectations. Somebody said to you, "I want to make 80 grand next month."
Yeah.
And this person joined 4 months ago. Right. She hasn't done anything. Now she wants to make 80 grand a month. Listen, sure, it's possible, I guess. But realistically, it's not going to happen, right? Reasonable expectations. When I look at somebody like a Billy Jean, or I should keep saying Billy Jean, but I see someone like that Billy, or even like a Frank Kern, see where they're at. We watch Frank Kern speak. $1 million a month he's doing now. This guy's made a ton of money over the years. Been doing it for 15 years. Well, 99. No, that's He said 15
he
years.
did say 15.
15 because he said it was actually 99 when he tried it. So it's 19 years out.
Yeah.
And one of the things that he talked about was how to make your next million.
Right.
So he's like, if anybody's making $1 million, say, raise your hand. There's a decent amount of people who raise their hand, whether it's true or not, but a lot of people raise their hand. And there's like 1,000 plus people. This isn't like 20 people. It's like 1,000 plus people each one. So he basically did that, and he talked about your next million and how to do it. And that was great for me because I'm in that boat. I made a ton of money, got to this point. And he goes, you made this much money, you got to this point, you did it this way. Now you're trying to make your next million by doing it the same way. It doesn't work, and that's my problem. I'm like, how do I scale this business? I can't do phone calls anymore, right? You can't. You only go so far. Unless you get someone to do it. And hiring people is the biggest pain because the average person is not a great employee and they're not a hard worker. That's just life. I learned that from people since I was like 18. Business people have been telling me that. So and I've seen it, obviously. So to get to that next million, to grow your business is really, really difficult. Obviously, that's not a problem most people have, but that's where I'm at today, and I'm trying to figure that out for myself. Just so you understand, like, again, these videos are more just to hear the inner workings, say, hey, listen, we have the same problems you guys.
Yeah,
when I first started my business, when James started his business doing this, he never said, oh man, I'm going to go buy a Mercedes cash next month.
Yeah.
But he put his time in, and he worked, and he gets to a certain level. Right? Even making these videos, just think about it. Now I'm looking at, how do I get a prop to hold my phone, right? I mean, stupid stuff like that. We bought this whole mobile camera kit today. We're talking about getting like a professional microphone and like almost like a studio setup. I'm not going to do that when I first started, right? You got to build a business and start doing things. So don't look at other people and say, wow, this is what they're doing. I'll never get there. Yeah, well, maybe not, but I'm not tomorrow, but you can get there, but you have to be reasonable in your growth expectations of building a business, right?
It's an evolutionary process, and that was one of the takeaways that we had as well, because I think everybody sees somebody having a tremendous amount of success, and they want to be that person, they want to emulate that person, even like Frank Kern. He's been doing this for years, 20 years. So even for somebody like that, yeah, he's making $1 million a month now, probably even more than that. But the thing is, he didn't start out of the gate doing that. Just like Phil didn't start out of the gate doing what he's doing. Just like on a lesser level, what I started with, I wasn't doing right away. It's an evolutionary process, but you have to plan that. And like Phil said, a lot of these videos, why I don't work on Fridays as well, I know Phil doesn't work on Fridays. We want to share some knowledge with you, give you the inner workings. Like Phil said, we have the same issues, and it's just the challenges that you as a business owner face, and you want to make sure that you can find a way to address them. Surround yourself with like-minded individuals. That's why the war room's so important. We know that those people, no matter how big their business is, they have similar issues as well. So we're going to learn how other people also address those issues, and we'll share that with you as well. But this is the important thing. Plan it out. Have the goals. I know we did one video one time on goal setting. You have to really plan that out, be methodical about it. And people that do say we have these goals about making X amount of dollars, that's great. How are you going to get there? How many people are you going to call on per day? How many people are you going to follow up with per day? You got to make that action plan, and then you'll see the results happen. But that's what you really have to do. And that was a great conference, though. It really was. It really was amazing.
And we actually said to the guy who ran it when we did the interview for War Room, we told him, like, we just went to affiliate summit. We heard some people speak that are pretty big in this industry, and it was horrible. Yeah. I mean, I learned nothing. It was, you can almost tell, like, yeah, this is what I expected from this guy. Right. But some of the people that spoke there was really, really good. And, again, I don't do speaking engagements. Frank Kern is way bigger than I am, obviously. Makes a ton of money. He only has 6 full-time employees and 2 part-time guys, which are probably like the video crew. Yeah. And he does well. And it took him a long time to figure it out. And his whole speech was like going up and down in your career, right? Hey, man, I made this much money. Great. Damn it. Made this much money. Great. Damn it. He goes, when you first start, damn it, sucked. He goes, but after a few years, he goes, you're still in the same position. You just have more money. And I got to tell you, that's where I am right now. Even though I'm doing well, making money and stuff, I'm in a damn it phase. And I'm like, how do I get from here to here? Right? How do I do that? And I'm having issues with it. And I tell him all the time, I'm like, I feel like I'm growing like a snail's pace here. And I mean, it's hard to feel sorry for me because you're like, this fucking guy's serious, right? But, but I look at it and I look at these guys, I'm like, I can reach these guys' levels. I know I can, but it's like, how do you get there?
Right.
And I understand people are just trying to reach where I'm at or even where James is at, and you're trying to get to just the next step. Hey man, do it, because this is what happens. When you start growing a business, just like compound interest. We just watched on the plane ride home, we watched a documentary on Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
It was really good. You should watch that.
Really good.
I'm not going to go into that, but you should definitely watch it. But compound interest is a big thing. That was a big thing for Warren Buffett when he was younger. He was like 13 years old doing compound interest. I mean, this guy. But anyway, but when you build a business, it's kind of like that. It's a snowball effect, right? You start getting to a certain pace, and then it just skyrockets. You know, look at the way Bitcoin just went up, but of course it goes down.
Right.
But that's it. So I'm in a process. I am growing. I am doing better. But I'm like, how do I move the needle faster? I understand the want to grow faster and reach bigger heights. But for me, it's like there's so many things I want to do with the live weekly chats and just do more, e-learning courses to hit certain people. But there's only so much you can do in a day. And I feel like I'm doing too much where nothing's happening, right? So I want to do this lead gen course. I can't do it. We're traveling 3 weeks in a row, so I can't even attempt to do it right now. But when I get back, I really just want to focus on that and bang it out. I have these other guys in Florida. If you saw the email with the digital marketing stuff, we're seeing them in Vegas. We're going to try to do a webinar in Vegas. We're going to land Sunday at like 10:30. And we're all in consensus with those guys that we need to do the webinar by 1 that day. Because after that, I don't think any of us can be functional enough to do a webinar. So hopefully we get that done. So what I did with those guys, I said, listen, I know I can't build another one. Even though I know everything there is to know about digital marketing. And those guys know a lot too, which is great. That's why I want to work with them. But I'm smart enough to say, you know what? Let me find a partner. And let me work with them on it, because I'm going to accelerate it quicker. I'm just going to make more money in the end anyway than trying to just do it all myself and just own everything myself. I don't mind doing that because it's just a smarter way to grow. So you got to figure that out for yourself. How do I grow this business? How do I start the business? How do I get from here to here and here and here? And of course, if you have questions, let us know. But that's it. I mean, this is a long video. We're 42 minutes.
Oh, wow.
I think
There's a lot of content.
But there's just so much to talk about. I mean, this is the tip of the iceberg of what we learned, and that's another thing. I want to do more live, not live, but I want to just pump out more video for everyone. See, here's the problem. We make a video like this. I got to try to make it cooler by throwing a Daymond John picture.
Right.
Some Daymond John stuff, what we're talking about here or there, put some pictures, videos there. Yeah, we want to basically put this stuff in, but it takes time. So I gotta I'm like, oh man, how do I do just more live stuff? Just take this and pump it out, but then where do you put it?
Right.
You put it on Facebook, or you put it on Instagram, which I don't even run Instagram right now. Do I put it on YouTube? You know what I mean? Because where is everybody? Do I do email? You have to understand this whole process is work. It takes time to make these videos, edit it, put it out, put it in email, So it's tough.
It is.
It's a lot of work, but people just don't realize that. They think, well, this stuff is just easy, to really grow a business. And yes, can we make it easier for you? Yeah, but if you're not willing to work, you're never going to make money in anything you do. So if you're not willing to work, then just don't even bother and get a job.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the one question people like to ask: how many hours do I need to put into this to make X amount of dollars? I'm like, who you ask? Your employer. Your employer will answer that question for you. If you want to work and you work 9 to 5, at the end of the week, I will give you this. That's a job. All right? You don't ask those questions if you're trying to run a business. I have no idea how much work you need to do to make X amount of money. You need to just do it, and you need to say to yourself, I will do whatever it takes to be successful. That's what I say. I didn't ask whoever, I'm not even whoever I even asked. I didn't ask Jim Estel, who acquired one of my companies, say, hey Jim, I'm going to start this new business. Just wondering, so if I do 8 hours a day, maybe only work Sundays 3 hours, 2 hours on Saturday, how much will I make at the end of the week? He's going to be like, what?
Yeah. You might give him a really good laugh.
Yeah, he'll probably hang up on me or just ignore the email. It's like, what the fuck is this guy even talking about?
You're wasting my time. Right?
Yeah, it's so you really have to understand what it takes to build a business before you even start a business. But that's the stuff we're going to give you. But go in it without, what did somebody say to you? Where you said, I'm kind of taken back by that question. I love the way he speaks to people. It almost sounds like he's just a walking infomercial.
Oh yeah,
He's a walking infomercial. The way he talks to people.
I think they said something about, well, what if I don't do this?
Guarantee.
What guarantee do I have about this if I try this and it doesn't work for me? And I even said, I'm sorry, but I'm a little taken aback by that question. I said, the fact that you're already going in thinking it might not work for you, what kind of mental attitude is that? I said, you're not setting yourself up for success if you're already thinking that you're going to fail. What is that? Who thinks that way? Imagine going into any game and thinking that you might not win. You're going to go into the Super Bowl and think you're not going to win? Come on. No matter who your opponent is, you have to know that you're going to win, at least going in with the mentality that you are going to win. And in any business, you also have to believe that you're going to succeed. And that's the bottom line. You have to go in with the mental status that you're going to do it. You're going to do whatever it takes to do it the best that you can. And things will happen as long as you don't quit. So yeah, that was a funny question though.
I had no idea what he said because...
I hope they heard it.
One kid wants to go out to dinner. My nanny just came in. It's like, should I feed them? Or are you supposed to go out to dinner? I'm like, yes. And then the one kid doesn't want to go out to dinner. One kid wants to go out to dinner. I'm like, okay. Whatever you want to do. You can go out to dinner or you can stay home.
Right.
Okay. But anyway.
All
right, so
he covered it.
He told you the story? All right, we'll cut it off here, I guess.
Yeah, let's do a shot.
All right, eventually when we get more comfortable doing these videos, we're just going to drink and do videos. And then we're going to come up with a sign saying, do not drink and do videos. Because this is what happens. What we'll do is we'll do some drunk videos for you in Vegas.
That'd be fun.
That'd be a good time.
That'd be a good
There's going to be a lot of us, so it'll be good. We'll get everybody drunk. And then we'll teach you how to make money. In Vegas.
In Vegas.
What you do is you stand on the street, you hand out these cards, and you try to get everybody to go to a gentleman's club. That's the way you make money in Vegas.
Yeah, they get paid for that.
All right. Good?
Good.
All right.
Happy Friday.
So, we got Phil and James, San Diego, Traffic and Conversion Summit, TNC. Right now it's about 10 o'clock at night, so there's really nobody in this area. A lot easier to do a video. During the day, this place is packed.
A lot of people here.
5,800 people, they said, have showed at the Marriott Marquis Marina area. San Diego's great. It's my second time. Your first time? First time in San Diego. Got a nice room on a top floor. Great views. You can see the baseball stadium. Got the bay view. It's really nice. So, but I have to say, for myself, and we've done we did Vegas twice.
Right.
We did about three. We did three conventions since October. Right now it's February, the end of February. We're doing LeadsCon next week in Vegas. This has been by far, and I've done Affiliate Summit and LeadsCon in New York a couple of times. By far, for this business that I'm in, that James is in the lead generation, e-learning space, by far the absolute best convention I've ever been at. We met Cody Sperber walking through the hall, big in real estate if you don't know who he is, Frank Kern. Billy Jean is marketing. Ty Lopez was here outside, of course, next to a Lamborghini.
Of course, Daymond John.
Oh yeah, biggest one of all. Don't mind me. We actually got a chance to speak with Daymond John twice. Did a book signing. We got VIP passes, so that's why we got the book signings. That was good, and that was the coolest moment. So obviously, because we got to talk to Daymond John, if you know, we did the video with Kevin Harrington. Kevin Harrington and Daymond John are close, and obviously they're both sharks from Shark Tank. So trying to do business with them, of course, you might as well, right? If you're in front of these types of people, you might as well try to do some business with them. So we're trying to do that. We'll see what happens. Nothing's happened yet, but of course we're trying. But I have to say, you know, the knowledge that we've learned in just 2 days, it's still one more day, it's the second day, that we learned pretty much every single person that we've spoken to, was like a quality person.
Right.
And so I gotta say, man, this has been a great show. And I just want to throw out, you know, for what I'm doing in the e-learning, like teaching you guys how to make money, whether it's, you know, future lead gen or whatever future e-learning courses I come up with. Right now, we're, you know, doing the business loan brokering and business consulting. Listen, I'm going out there and running around doing this event. We did October, we did January conference, we did this conference, we're going back to Vegas. If I knew that Grant Cardone's convention, his seminar, summit, whatever you want to call it, was last week in Vegas, I would have went. I had no idea. But you know, this is what I'm doing. And I have to say, man, this event alone costs a solid $5,000 to do. You could probably do it cheaper. You know, I do spend a little bit more money on stuff. I'm like the finer, I do first class and whatever, but so you can do it cheaper. But still, even if you did it for $3,000 and we did 4, so let's just say, you know, that's $12,000 just in the last few months. I understand not everyone has that money, so that's cool. Don't worry about that. Let me run around. I'll do this stuff. I'll learn. I signed up for Daymond John's course. I'm signing up for Billie Jean's course. I'm in Frank Kern's inner circle. I'm spending all the money. I'm doing all the work. I'm putting the time in. And I'll just give you the information. Whatever I learn, I'm just going to hand over to you guys. Obviously, I do what I do. You know, I'm going to learn what these guys are doing because obviously I want to learn. So that's what I'm doing. I just want you guys to understand that, putting the time and work in so you can see I'm legitimate. I'm making things happen. Got the endorsement for Kevin Harrington. We got the final version filing, so that was cool. So what do you have to say?
I just think, like Phil said, the value, you guys have to understand the value of what Phil's doing here and sharing it with you. Not even just the monetary value. It's what he's getting out of it and bringing it into the training and sharing it with you, being able to educate you on what we're learning here live, and you don't even have to spend any money. That is tremendous. And I gotta be honest with you, I'm relatively new to the space. Obviously, Phil's been doing it a lot longer. My head was blown with the information that we've learned in the 2 days already. It's not even over yet.
My hands hurt.
My
arms hurt.
We are just learning so much, and we're meeting such quality people here, and we're gonna be able to pass that along to you. So it's just been a great time, great fun, a lot of people, a lot of things that we're seeing. So that's what I have to say about it. It's a fantastic event.
So I told James that he should probably, this has been 6 months since he started his business, and I figured what he should probably do is, you know, give a little testimonial on that. So we're gonna do that separately. I guess maybe we'll just do it right after we make this video.
Yeah, why not?
That'll be his own separate video that he'll do, kind of explain the stuff that he's been learning, doing these conferences and whatnot. So, but we'll do a more of a, we'll walk around this place, show you guys a little bit more about the actual conference. But these people that are speaking have been great. I mean, I gotta say, man, just in the first day, I mean, even for myself and what I've learned, and I know a lot of stuff, and what I learned, I was blown away by what I learned from, you know, some of the people here, and it's been a really good experience. So we'll see what happens. Tomorrow we have a meeting. They have something what's called a war room. The war room costs $25,000 to $30,000 for the year. Now, when you say, all right, you know, I'm going to go spend $25,000, $30,000 to basically talk to people and learn from people and do extra conferences with people, because now you got to pay the 25 to 30 grand. Then you got to pay the money to go to the conferences, which, you know, we're in New York. These conferences are pretty much on the West Coast or in Texas. So it's always going to cost money to go there. But I got to tell you, it's going to be worth it. So we're doing an interview tomorrow. You can't just get in.
No, gotta
So
qualify.
we're doing an interview. You got to qualify. So we're going to see if we can qualify. We'll get in. So you have to understand, like, this stuff costs money to do this. You're not doing this if you're not making money.
Right.
You're not doing this unless you have a business and you're making money and you know what you're doing. So I just want you guys to understand that this is, you know, for me, obviously, hopefully it builds credibility with you, that you see, well, okay, you know, they're going out, they're doing their thing, they're making stuff happen. Obviously, they're doing something right, and that's it. You know, so if you see value, hey, we'll teach you something. So when you really think about it, the amount of money that I charge to get into my e-learning courses right now is hundreds of dollars, not thousands. There's plenty of people here that charge thousands, 10,000, 15, 20 grand. Hundreds of dollars to get in. This event cost me 5 grand. So I'm giving you a whole business, give you everything that I know for hundreds of dollars. And this one event for these 3 days, it's cost me 5 grand. I spent 20 grand on the last 4 events total. I have more conferences to go to this year. If I do this war room, that's another 25 grand. Now I'm 45,000 into it, right? I mean, just think about that.
And it's
right?
only February, it's not even March yet.
Right. So when you think about the amount of money I'm spending to stay in business, to learn what I learn, and I'm handing you that knowledge, and I say, you know what? Just join my, my training for hundreds of dollars. How do you say that's a bad deal? I mean, that is an amazing deal. If I'm going to go out there, switch again. If I'm going to go out there, it's late. We're tired.
It's late. It's been a long day.
It's been a long day, long couple of nights. But when you really think about the amount of money that you're investing in your business, in your future, for the knowledge you're getting, like, think about how much it's costing me to do this. To get this knowledge, it's costing me, $50,000 a year. That's just traveling. That's just doing these shows, conferences, meeting, time. I mean, time is money, right? And then you count in, the amount of work I do at home to make stuff happen. And then I basically take that $50,000, $100,000 that I spend, the time that I put into it, I say, here, for hundreds of bucks, you can have it all. I mean, that's pretty cool. If you ask me.
Great deal.
It's a good deal. So if you can afford it and you can make it to these shows, hey, make it to the shows. This is good stuff. If you can't, hey, just follow along at home. No big deal. You good?
All good, yeah.
All right. We're going to go to the bar. James, what's up?
There's a lot of people here. Holy crap, I get all these people here. Why are you so surprised? I'm not actually. I feel like you're surprised. Well, I want to make sure that I thank Mauro, host, for being the premier sponsor, and I want to thank